Yeah, I'm ready. Wait, what did MJ say we're calling this again? Oh, right. No, I got it. I know we're live. Welcome to Monday Night Raw. Live. In person, live Raw. And welcome back to News of My Fiance's Raw Live, in person, Raw Live.
You're forgetting a thing.
I switched this around. It's Raw Live, in person, live Raw. With Morgan Jones and DJ
It's
Ambush.
also Monday Night Raw.
Is it?
Live. So if that's not there, that one's on me.
Okay.
But
all right.
Also, you should know the name of the show.
I should know the name of the show.
No, just thought.
Listen, we're still,
we're working the kinks out.
Making some edits to the script. You know where you are. That's why you're here.
I like that. Put the onus on them.
That's right. That's right. We are reporting live from the 5-alarm fire that is downtown Portland. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate your support. Be a part of the text chat fam squad and join the conversation in the chat, because I made a point to make sure this channel wasn't set for children. So you can jump back in like you did last week and join us in the chat. Yayer.
Big shout out to our studio sponsors real quick. We Out Here Magazine and Spirited Justice for providing this super dope space every Monday. Shout out to our production team, Kyle G of Residual Audio and Jess making this happen each Monday.
Yeah.
And of course, shout out to everybody watching, listening, staying engaged with us, hitting that chat. And before we get started, fiancés, the business. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, ring that motherflubbing bell. Do all the things so that the algorithm will notice us, because it don't notice us just yet. But we are growing. So, shout out to y'all again. But tell your friends, your family, your work spouse, your real spouse, your kids, their friends, parents. I don't know. Tell everybody that you know. Word to the weekend. Or become a member over at Patreon at patreon.com/newswithmyfiance, so we can continue to expand and be bigger, faster, stronger, better. Wait, that's not how that goes.
I think so. No?
Taller, better, faster, stronger. Smarter, better, fat.
Wait, are you doing the Daft Punk thing? Or are you doing, okay.
We just want to spend time with you. More time with you.
Yeah.
So pay us.
Yeah. Multiple shots in the air for our YouTube subscribers. We have it's ballooning. Thank you. We are out of here. We're at 63 subs right now.
Just out the frame is what they call that. Blowing it out the frame.
And I know there's some people that's like, how dare you? It's 63 subs. You don't understand. We haven't been at this long.
How dare they?
Yeah. We've got years in on La Radio. When it comes to this YouTube situation, it's brand new. I'm going to throw a party when we hit 100. I'll tell you that right now. So
party throwing.
That's right. Right. So shout out to y'all from being here from the beginning, and let's get this quality time popping. More of it. More of this.
More of this. All of this. I still have my hair tied, my scarf on because it's humid. And I am mad about it. So, yeah, I did kind of yell just now. Apologies.
I don't like it.
But I'm big mad.
I don't like it.
The people that are like, climate change, how is it warming if it's cold or something? I don't know. Whatever they say. Are wild. I say this on the radio all the time, but the fact that we are just going to fully pretend as if this climate hasn't changed big time.
It's wild.
Is wild. Just even in the amount of time you've lived here, this climate has changed. And for my life of being from the Portland, Oregon, this ain't it, bro.
No.
This ain't it.
We were just talking about, so there were two events we did Dawson Park, that I did at Dawson Park over the weekend, Friday and Saturday. And the Saturday gig was from 2 to 7. And when I tell you that at 6:30, It was 94 degrees outside.
It's supposed to be hitting that cool down
in September. I'm like, this is a sign of the future, and we got to find some way to counteract this, because you got, audio equipment out there. That stuff overheats. As a matter of fact, shout out to DJ Eddie B. Am I adding the B on there? I'm gonna just say DJ Eddie. Shout out to DJ Eddie.
Not you giving people names.
Yo, his laptop overheated.
No.
His laptop overheated. Serato froze. And he had to bring a fan over there, cool it down. He had to plug in a fan that sat underneath his laptop, and you could still hear glitches throughout the rest of the performance. It wasn't that bad before he put the fan on. It never got that bad again, but it was just like, whoa, troubles. Real troubles. But yeah, we gotta prep. This is not what's up.
No, we need fans.
Yeah.
We need, no, you can't have misters. You need.
Why can't you have misters?
Well, not around equipment.
Word of usage, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
At least that's what I was thinking.
Oh, yeah,
but,
you're right. You're right.
For me, in here, we can have fans. And is that what you were talking about? Because the humidity is laughing at me and my combination hair.
You killing it, though.
Well.
You need to know that.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
My outfit.
See the whole. Yeah, I see the whole situation.
So I am somebody's uncle and auntie today. That's what this outfit says.
Is that what you were going for?
That's what it does. Okay. It's not what I was going for, but it is what it's given. So, gender neutral. I ain't mad at it.
Oh my gosh.
Ambush.
Yes, talk to me.
So much has happened. Like so much. We're gonna do a couple of stories today.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just briefly announce what what we're going to talk about, and then we'll get to it at some point, right?
Uh-huh.
Your friend.
I don't think he's going to be my friend for real.
Well, your president, Donald Trump. He was tango-in, all over federal laws and veterans' graves. And that was news enough for you to want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I passed on the story, but I'm back in on the story.
Yeah.
Then we're also just going to keep it local, lots of local today. Because I don't know if you all noticed that some things happened on Friday, and one Rene Gonzalez and one Tevis Wheeler threw themselves pity parties, tantrums, and put your tears in this bucket parties.
Yeah.
If you were wondering what their latest mad, sads, and finger pointing about Portland and its ills are, then you likely guess that, yes, it is still Jo Ann Hardesty. She is the problem still. Everybody's running against her. I don't know if you know that. She's in the race for each elected official's position that exists on the ballot. That's what's happening right now. And then welcome to the Deflection Games, Recriminalization. May the odds be ever in your favor.
Yeah, let's go back to doing the thing we were doing that didn't work before.
That is my favorite game. And we do it all the time. Mm-hmm. We just... Mm-hmm. Hey, want to be mad about something? Want to spend our money and our resources and all our time doing other things that won't fix it? Welcome to the Deflection Games. So that's what those are our topics today.
Okay.
But before we get into the bigger, longer things.
Some warming up.
Yeah.
Over the weekend, I think I tweeted about it. I did. Someone else one of my homies on Twitter asked, "Are we watching Deliverance? Are we doing that?" And they asked it before.
Collectively?
Yeah. They asked it before I watched it. And immediately after watching it, I jumped right back on X and was like, "No, we are not."
Oh, too late. You watched it.
And they were like, "Oh, excellent. I'll take your word for it.
Well, look at you walking so someone else can run.
You got that right. I'm trying to look out for the people.
Very nice.
Yeah. So what's my man's name?
Lee Daniels.
Lee Daniels.
If you're wondering how you know that name, the butler.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many more. Dang.
Yeah.
I just looked at this.
He does have.
I just looked at this whole filmography while we were watching Deliverance because I was like, what happened?
You're like, how did we get here?
Wasn't that the butler like Oscar nominated?
Precious, for sure.
Precious.
I got there so fast. IMDb is on my home screen. You got shit. It's just good.
It is, and he means it, and it will always be there.
You're damn right. The movie he did with that old Dame Dash, The Woodsman. You remember that? That's what.
Oh, is that with Kevin Bacon?
Yeah.
Oh, he was a part of. That's the thing that Dame Dash went up and trying to get his money about.
Yeah.
Wait, but what was that? That was a million years ago.
It was. The United States versus Billie Holiday.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't think I finished that, but
yeah, I didn't start it.
I'll tell you this. This looked like a Tubi movie. But
from the trailer.
Not as good. And I'm gonna be honest, I ain't seen that. I seen 2 Tubi movies in my life.
We have been striking out as of late with horror films.
It's true.
And thrillers. We watched Tarot. Was that last night or the night before?
Oh gosh.
Night before, right? Night before.
Night before, yeah.
Didn't hold up. It was better than Deliverance. Watched Quiet Place.
It didn't have Glenn Close, so.
Okay. Watched Quiet Place day 1. I was dissatisfied with the film. We watched it with the homie Sean and MJ, and they weren't as dissatisfied.
I mean, I think he's pretty dissatisfied, but he was also not really watching it.
Okay, all right.
I'm less,
right.
It wasn't what I expected. Yeah. I thought it would be better.
Yeah.
It was not scary. The problem with it, and I won't do too much, but the problem with it for me was that it gave you a bunch of the reasons why you should be getting to scare, and then nothing happened. And so this was just like a story about getting from point A to point B. And I love you, Lupita.
Yeah. Didn't need it.
And I messed with the Quiet Place situations. But
no, thank you, John. You could have done without that entry.
Okay.
Yeah. Didn't need it. Immaculate. Better than I expected it to be. I would definitely recommend checking that out.
Have not seen it.
We started it together. Fell asleep.
Look what he does without me.
No, started it together. It's slander, and I'm glad she started with it. Now we know I get to correct. We started together. You fell asleep. Anyone who listens to us knows I am notorious for wanting to fall asleep to horror movies.
Yeah.
And that is what happened. This is something I started without you.
Yes, but then you also, at a different point, watched the whole thing.
No, we started it together. You fell asleep.
And you watched the whole thing that time. I just finished that night,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I didn't,
yeah, that's fine.
Woo.
I thought you rewatched. I don't know. I thought there was a second watch of Immaculate. Was there a second watch?
On the black man.
I'm asking you a question. Are you going to answer it?
What happened?
Have you watched it twice?
No, I haven't.
All right.
No. I'll do a rewatch with you, though. Because I want to see your reaction to some of that stuff that happens in the final act.
My reactions to Sydney Sweeney?
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right, never mind.
Okay. So again, you understand,
later.
The thread we've been on. And then it's Deliverance. We got Glenn Close in it.
We got Monique.
Monique's back.
We got
Audra Day.
Yes. And Audra Day. And Audrey, I don't remember her last name.
And then my guy from Stranger Things.
Steven from Stranger Things. I do not know that no longer a boy, probably a man now. Yeah. Don't know his name.
Going back to
Sorry
IMDb,
to that man.
Guys. Going back to IMDb on my home screen.
It's on his home screen.
They need to pay me. But I'll still use it whether they pay me or not. Okay.
Okay. Well, you just took all the incentive away.
Well, I just love it. You just got a good app, man.
Do they?
I'm not going to tax you. These guys want to subscribe to the Patreon now. Andrew Day, Glenn Close, Anthony B. Jenkins, so that was the youngest kid. Caleb McLaughlin.
Oh, that's his name.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'll say this.
Omar Epps had a cameo in there.
Do not forget that Omar Epps is in there, and he is, I'm going to spoil it. So if you don't want to hear this.
Nothing to spoil. Having
sex with Glenn Close. Omar Epps is Glenn Close's boyfriend. What? TF.
He's good.
What?
Boo thing. Yeah.
And he's like her nurse.
Yeah.
At her chemo center.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm doing too much.
All right.
That'll be it.
So.
That'll be it. I won't mess this up anymore.
You can understand why we take a chance, why we throw the dice and gamble and watch this film. It did not pay off.
Listen, I just want to tell you that I was going to watch that film because Glenn Close had that haircut no matter what. I was watching that movie. Why are you the white lady from the hood? I have to know what's happening right now.
Yeah.
I had to.
Yeah.
And so I was going to watch that movie no matter what. I'm going to tell you that.
All right.
And I knew going in, this is not going to be good. But I did think it would be better than it was.
Okay.
I'll say that. The graphics, terrible. Don't even, what are we talking about?
You mean the CGI?
Sure.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that I could call it that.
Because it's so
Because they don't,
All right, so.
Motion stop, Photoshop situation that they was doing. And this is not an episode of a podcast that has no name. I just wanted to say, Glenn Close did some things. I want to know why she said some things. And maybe we'll say that in the second half.
Oh, my God.
Where I feel like it's more okay to...
We cannot. And the reason I'm saying we can't say that is because for anyone that is going to venture...
Oh, can't spoil. Okay.
That one line is the standout line in the film. And you're like, I'm sorry, what did I just hear? Thank God this is on Netflix. I can rewind it and double check.
And
that was wild for the night. That was wild.
Did.
That was wild. But overall, for me, the film just tried to do everything at once. I would definitely remember saying James Wan would never. It was pulling from so many different current horror films and tried to make an amalgam of it. And it was like, wait till you see all this happening together. And in an attempt to do that, there was no depth to the plot whatsoever. It just wasn't. The mythos wasn't all the way you didn't really care about the possession versus caring about the children and their parenting situation. I didn't know what was the greater evil here. I didn't know what.
Talk about spoiling. Okay.
You see this in the commercial, in the trailer. You see some of that in the trailer.
I'll just say there's something super anti-Black about Lee Daniels and Tyler Perry, and I'm just going to leave that there. I'm not going to explain myself.
Agreed.
I'm not going to do it.
I'd agree.
Because you know what that fool said?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
So Lee Daniels, I didn't see him give a post to anybody else, make a post or a tweet or whatever about the amazingness of any of the, and so I'm saying I didn't see it. I am not saying he didn't do it, right. To be clear. But this tweet was...
I see what you did there. To be clear. Gotcha, okay. All right, keep going.
I do appreciate you seeing me. Every Black person knows in Alberta. She's part of the fabric of our community.
That's Glenn Close's character.
But we've never seen her on screen before. Thank you, Glenn, for bringing her magnificently to life. The deliverances on bop, 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 bop. And
she was a fabric. Can you read that part again?
She's part of the fabric of our community. Okay. And by that, he means...
They be around.
I don't know. I don't know what you mean by the fabric of our community. Because that doesn't really actually work, does it? And I think that plays right into the hands of the white women that are like, how could I be racist? I have sex with a Black man. I have Black kids. What do you mean?
Right.
plays right into that. I thought we weren't doing no fucking cookout invites no more. Like, collectively, you certainly ain't gonna call nobody the fucking fabric of our community.
To be fair, part of the fabric.
Thank you for being fair. Keep it fair and balanced, I suppose.
The devil needed an advocate.
Never does, actually. It never does. Either does Lee Daniels. That was a dumb thing to do.
Yeah, they're chewing him up.
And my thing is, I do appreciate Glenn Close doing that. I don't know why.
Because whenever you've seen it done before, to that well, you know what I'm saying? Like,
have you not seen?
Tell me.
What is that movie?
Maybe
called?
I haven't seen
that trick. What is that movie called?
Oh, yeah.
Hustle and Flow.
It's true.
Taryn, are you kidding me? She
killed it. I mean, she's a younger version. She killed it. She bodied it. She bodied it.
Okay,
yeah.
Younger version, but she did it first. You know what I'm saying? So, like, okay, it did exist. Is all I was going for. Glenn Close ain't the first person who was like, I'm a white lady on the inside of the hood.
No,
like, she was not the first one.
You were correct.
And Lee Daniels doesn't get to say she is because she's the first one in his movie. I bet you Kathy Bates has something to say, too. Tyler Perry ain't got nothing to say about that?
Good point. Quick being made. What was she in?
I don't even watch those movies.
She was in the Tyler Perry movie?
Who, Kathy Bates?
Yeah.
Yes. Like 2 of them. Family That Prays or some shit. I don't know.
Kathy!
Yo, she be doing favors. And so, like, she be out here doing favors.
Mm-hmm. Well.
Anyway, don't have your hopes up if you do watch that. I went into it literally knowing this will not be good. And I could not have all been prepared for as bad as it was. And it wasn't just story. It was like story, CGI, 0 character development. As you said. Is it worse to be possessed by whatever it's possessed by or be getting all the situations?
Okay, now y'all have to watch it. Y'all gotta watch it. And we need feedback. When they get to the final confrontation, there are so many things that are happening
so
that you're like, okay, so what is the issue we're fighting? Because
the system.
Are we fighting the Slender Man or the devil or
the nun? Like,
systemic oppression?
I don't.
These children and these families being affected in so many different ways at once.
I wonder if it will be a social worker.
Right. Is there an alien invasion happening right now? I don't know. He just went bonkers.
Oh, there probably was an alien invasion also happening.
It was not, nah.
It was fun.
Yeah. So I changed my mind. Watch it, Deliverance.
As a matter of fact, after talking about it, hilarious.
Watch the Deliverance. It's yeah.
In other news, I want to talk about Dr. Umar Johnson. And this might take a second. You know, some folks listening might not know who Dr. Umar is.
Hands in the room. Anyone know who Dr. Umar is? Show of hands. No one. Okay,
Fantastic.
Sweet. This is awesome.
So, as his former neighbor, I'll have you...
What?
Give us the background on one Dr. Umar, and then I'll pop in.
I'd prefer not to, but
unfortunate.
I mean, I've been tasked with it.
Thank you.
Anyways, the year was what? Maybe 2010.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. I want to try to think around when we started dating. I think 2009. 2009. 2009, 2010 would be accurate for where I'm starting the story.
Okay.
There was a time period when hotepery was at its peak.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm out there. I'm at 52nd Street in Westfield. I'm copping the DVDs, the incense, kicking it with the bros. And we're all looking for enlightenment. We're all looking for ways to, survive systemic oppression, and we're also fresh off of
in the concrete jungle.
You're damn right. We're also fresh off of years of listening to the Wu-Tang, and, Arrested Development, things of that nature. anti-Illuminati. You're just fighting the system. We are a rebel force.
Wait, this whole time you were anti-Illuminati?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you wanted to be a part of it.
What are you talking about?
Just kidding.
So anyways, that opened the door up for people that were self-appointed teachers of, again, ways to fight the system. Hoteps. Now, Dr. Umar is indeed a doctor. He did go to school. He went to Temple, if I'm correct.
Mm-hmm.
Got himself some degrees. And he is what's he call himself? Not the
Pan-African Prince.
The Pan-African Prince.
The Prince of Pan-Africanism.
At one point, he misrepresented himself by stating that he was a descendant of Frederick Douglass.
He did, in fact, say that.
Yes.
And then apparently the Ancestry.com said that is a lie.
Also, his descendants were like, we're going to need you to stop doing that.
Oh.
Yeah, it got crazy. He talked about the time he spent teaching, that he was going to open a school for boys, for black boys.
School for black boys. That's what it's called. Dr. Umar's School for Black Boys.
Yes. He did many series of fundraising. I believe at least $1 million was raised. And that school never opened. But that didn't stop Dr. Umar from touring and getting paid, doing speaking engagements and hopping on, Breakfast Club and wherever else he could to continue.
The grift? Or?
The grift.
The Hoteperin grift?
Yeah.
Why'd I put an R in there? Hotepian is what I meant to say.
Oh, it sounded more official with the R.
Yeah,
anyways,
all right, I like it.
Yeah. So that's Dr. Umar. Thank you for making me introduce him.
I appreciate it.
I do not.
Okay. Well, what you missed and what I think is important for some people to know is that with the Hotepian. Yeah, but how did I just say it?
Hoteperin?
Sure. With that comes some inherent things, like he is going to be not down with the swirl. That's not a thing. We do not get to, no race mixing over here, buddies. He's also, really not a big fan of the LGBTQ,
right. It's a mental disorder.
Would not acknowledge pluses in that regard. So to be clear, we are not like, give it up for one Dr. Umar Johnson.
Absolutely not. I'm anti.
Definitely anti-Umar. Definitely anti. And I'm going to say this. Every single fucking person who listens to Umar and does not agree with him and then also calls him a genius, y'all got to explain what the fuck you mean. You absolutely have to explain it because right now, you're just out here saying words as if they mean something and then they obviously don't.
No.
Because, if we mean genius at the grift, genius at the scammery, I wouldn't even give him that.
No, I wouldn't even
You know how much money you can get from people out there?
He doesn't even have...
Oprah was doing schools on her own.
Yeah, he doesn't even have an effective pyramid scheme. I'm not giving it.
He literally doesn't.
I'm not doing that.
So, not giving him genius. But he's also like, if you understand who he is and what it is and that it's a grift, he can be hilarious. It's, as Can says frequently, racism isn't cool, but sometimes that shit is funny. And he definitely makes me laugh heartily whenever he's like...
Quite the bigot.
You fuck with the snow bunny? And it's like all of a sudden, anything that person's ever had to say, invalid.
Yeah.
Nope. Not doing it.
Yeah.
So anyway, Dr. Umar...
yes, please explain to them why you brought him into our podcast.
Dr. Umar went on somebody's show and they were arguing, and I'm going to say arguing because Umar cannot have conversations. So Umar has stated this before, but this was his position in this moment, that hip-hop has done nothing but harm the Black community and has done nothing to build the Black community, right? I mean, would you say that was the point?
Yep. Sounding quite MAGA. Continue. Yeah.
True. So that was the topic. And within that topic, he was big pissed. Like, oh, I'm be mad about this because you're not listening to me, because in all honesty, there is no bank of hip hop. So could they really have done anything for Black people? What's the infrastructure that hip hop created?
Right.
And again, the person whose show he was on was trying to explain, and it was an interesting route. Their route was like, look at all the jobs that are created.
Right.
Look at what happens with, like there's touring and,
You're ignoring the impact of the industry.
Then you ignore the impact of the industry. Then you ignore what that means. There are people having jobs in the industry that would not have had one previously, that kind of thing. I thought it was interesting that the way that we were arguing this was capitalism. But I probably think differently than both of those people having this debate.
Sure.
Umar didn't have anything much to say other than, you're crazy. Hip hop has done nothing but harm us. Everyone wants to be a gang member. I don't know. Pull your pants up. I think he gave us the Bill Cosby.
Pretty much.
No more pants on the ground, friends.
Yellow cake speech. Whatever it was called. Bill Cosby. Yeah.
Is that what it was called?
Something like that. Yeah, it was pretty irritating.
So, Ambush, they vary. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
go
off.
ahead.
I was just going to say, how would you respond to the question, has hip hop positively infected Morgan?
Mm-hmm. Positive infections are dope.
Well, I think I put impacted and affected together and went with an N. I don't know. But positively impacted Black people's lives or the Black community. Would you say, has that happened, or has it just been 50 years of harm?
I mean, one would have to be the quite opposite of genius, like willfully obtuse. You like to ignore the impact that hip hop culture has had in our community. Positive impact is just ridiculous. Like, you're searching for an argument.
Yeah.
You have to be searching for an argument. It's like saying, the sun, is it really necessary? Like, you're saying things that are just, you're being contrarian just to be so. And the way that Umar attacks these conversations, he just likes to talk over people and be loud.
Right.
And say things that will force the other person to engage in a conversation that to them, it's like bait. It's like, oh, I can very easily win this conversation because what you're saying is so ludicrous. So now I'm going to keep trying to make a point to you, which he has you hook, line, and sinker. Well, while you're trying to make a relevant point, he's just screaming.
Well, and he's not arguing what you are.
No.
So know that now.
Yeah.
He's not giving you, you're having a conversation about one thing and he's talking about something else. And it's not just like, I'm going to move the goalpost. It's like, I wasn't even talking about that, bro.
Right.
Like, and it's not in the way of, oh, let's get on the same page. It's way on the level of, you can't keep up with me.
Right.
And that ain't it. That ain't it.
Not even close. Not even close.
People are keeping up. You are doing a different game. Like, it's that simple. But he does make money from this. And I don't understand how he doesn't see how hip hop has
impacted his pockets.
Positively impacted his pockets.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't know who Dr. Umar Johnson is if it wasn't for him being in the sort of that realm.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wouldn't know you. And I've known you for years now.
Right. You're on these hip hop shows, you're on these platforms. It's really the only place.
It is the way that you get platformed.
Right.
It is I mean, outside of you getting yourself speaking engagements at colleges or whatever, that, wow, who is paying you for that? But on or in the way of being a part of media, you are talking to Black hip hop media. That's what you're doing.
Right.
So the idea that it is A, nothing but harmful, and B, would need to have created infrastructure that the government should be providing to every single citizen is a wild ass thing to do.
Right.
Why hasn't hip hop pulled every Black person out of poverty? Like, what do you mean?
Right.
Was this one thing supposed to do that? And maybe say it was. Could we maybe be figuring out
why it hasn't?
Right. Instead of just being onto like, the thing with someone like Dr. Umar is the same as someone like Ben Shapiro. You are just talking fast and saying things and you're confident, so people think it's facts.
Right.
It's not facts. And someone like Ben Shapiro has made it facts don't care about your feelings, except for that's for you. That's not for most other people.
Right.
That's literally needs to be said to you every time you're talking. Same thing for Dr. Umar. And with every other grift, every other one of these things, it's literally give a little grain of truth. That's all you need. Mm-hmm. You can continue to grow on those little grains. And then when someone's listening later, it's like, oh, that doesn't seem right. Oh, but he's right about this and he's right about that. So maybe I just didn't know this thing. No, he threw his opinion in there with a couple of facts. That's what happened. And then called his opinion a fact.
And now you're like.
And now you're over here rubbing your chin.
Right.
No.
Right.
You do not have a mystery to solve. Like this person's lying.
Right.
And all those people are lying. Like and they make money from it. And that is one of the most frustrating things is it would be so incredibly easy to make a ton of money being like a conservative grifter or a Pan-African, or an FBA or a...
Right, ADOS.
Thank you. Like, if you're going to do white supremacy's work for it, there's money in it for you.
Right.
If you're going to point out where the white supremacy lives in every other thing, probably not going to get socked to your pocket.
Right.
Like it's not going to be a whole lot of money coming your way.
Right. Yeah.
But
so for me, like, I already have like, just overall, I don't give any credence to things he's talking about. I just don't. But to make a statement like that, and then more to your point about as far as the impact, to see people echo that statement on social media. I came across someone that said something similar on Facebook, and I knew immediately because it fell within the same like 48 hours of what Umar's saying going viral. I knew immediately where he got that from.
I know
immediately
exactly what's happening.
And I was like, Umar really just has y'all saying anything. Has you saying anything on the internet.
I mean, and be feeling smart.
Yeah, I had to unfriend that person immediately. I'm quick. I'm good with the unfriending and blocking.
Block parties.
Ooh, I throw block parties all the time.
All the time. Yeah. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't block anybody.
Yeah. Get them out of here. My sanity requires
Is that true?
it.
No, I'm sure I've blocked a couple of people.
Yeah, my sanity requires it. Got to control my environment.
And I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, I'm not dealing with all of that.
We literally deserve to find some peace,
Straight up.
Yeah. So before we head into the break, I don't know if you saw this. Mm-hmm. I saw this today. And it didn't happen today. There is a person running for City Council District 3 here in Portland named Daniel DeMello.
Okay.
I'll give you the tweet. Woke up Friday morning to political vandalism at my home. Unacceptable.
Yawn.
Period. We cannot allow the politics of fear and intimidation to prevail in Portland. And when I tell you the horrors of seeing the word shame and the other word bootlicker on this person's steps, the cement steps, the one he's going to power wash.
Someone used sidewalk chalk?
Yeah. Like it's literally washable situations here. There's an actual white picket fence and no one touched it. You know what I mean? Like
right.
you friend, I don't even know that we get to call that vandalism. You didn't even get called a thing that you should have been called.
Right.
Like, there's no, what are we talking about? So one, I'm like, who's the snowflake? Like, what do you mean? Are you running for city council because you think you can do something, or it's just a job that I don't know.
Yeah.
So he puts out a statement, which this deserves no statement. Like, this deserves no statement.
Unnecessary.
But he put one out. Cool. Great. I did love many of the responses to this was like, I've never heard of you, and now that I have, are you a bootlicker?
Right.
Like, do you, in fact, lick a boot?
Someone who knows you got right to the messaging.
And then I saw one, what's his name? He's also running.
Oh, he's also running.
Elliot, maybe?
Yeah. The cop?
Yeah, I'm trying to find...
Eli?
That's it, because it's Eli for Portland.
Right.
I was trying to find his tweet, because found it. His response. Ridiculous. It's critical we move past this phase. We need people who are willing to accept the risk that morons will come vandalize their homes so we can deny these radicals the ability to influence who participates in politics. Do you need me to read that again for you to know what just happened in it? Because it sounds like maybe a word salad. But in that salad, if you like took your fork and you were just like, what's in there?
You got rid of the olives.
I'm looking for... What I'm hearing from that is, number one, should cops, actual today cops, like that's where he gets his paycheck, cop, and running for an elected position as city council commissioner.
Right.
Should that person be calling the citizens morons? I'm wondering if that's maybe just a new political tactic that I wasn't aware of. Should we be
Rene
doing
used
that?
it, so.
And then what I'm reading or hearing or parsing, if you will, from this is that we need people to stand up to the morons who who have opposing views, I suppose, that don't believe the same thing I do.
Right.
So we can deny them their ability to be a part of the political system. Do you know what that, do you know you're saying the not quiet, the silent, the we don't even write this down part.
Right.
This is built into the cake, so we don't need to talk about it. What's understood doesn't need to be discussed. You're saying it hella loud.
Yeah.
Does he not understand that, or does he not care?
I'm going to go with the second. I'm going to go with the latter of the two.
And what I want to know is the citizens of Portland, when you see something like that, when you hear a candidate say something like, we need to make sure not everyone can participate, where does that put you? Like, where does that where are you at? Does it just go, wow, that's wild, and you just move forward? Or do you remember that person who just said that thing that's literally about taking your rights away? Because that's what he's talking about. And that's not what KGW or Coin is going to say about that statement, if they even notice it, because it's a tweet. But like, what are we talking about? Number one, y'all got to grow the fuck up. Everybody's like paying too much attention to Rene Gonzalez and what he thinks, getting hurt means. You do not in any way get something like, I'm an older person now, right? And kids were cruel when I was a kid.
Right.
If I was like, someone called me a bootlicker, maybe would be like, thank you.
Okay.
Fantastic. This is not like, that's not political violence. That's not what that is. That's not what that is. And when we talk about being more mad about the outcome of systemic failures and very purposeful policies. Being mad at the outcome and not the reason that the people are in the situations or calling you a bootlicker or understanding why being pro-police in a time where we are saturated with authority, saturated. There's no reason we need to spend more money on police. There's no reason we need to spend more money on police gear, their equipment. There's no reason police in any town USA needs military grade equipment.
None.
The military should not be getting rid of their things to local police departments. Like, be fucking for real.
Oh my God. Nah, that's real.
You're mad at people for being homeless and not mad at the reasons they're homeless. For whatever reason, you want to believe that it is, in fact, their own moral failure, or they don't have willpower enough not to do drugs.
Right.
You want to believe that so bad so that you don't have to reckon with the fact that you don't play in a merit system either. None of us do in that regard, because this system is not based on merit. So you want so badly to be able to be like, I've worked so hard and I've done so much. And no, you just need someone to look down on. You just want to be able to be like, I am in a better position than that. And the reason I'm in a better position is because of everything I've done. Not because anything that happened before me, not because of anything that ever happened to that person.
Right.
Not because the system treats different people differently. It's all individualism and it's all I did great on my own. You do bad on your own. That wouldn't be true in any existence, and it certainly isn't fucking true with this.
Right.
So it kills me to see people talk about political violence and vandalism as if we aren't right now seeing what genocide looks like on your phone, on your TV, on your kid's iPad. You don't get to talk, like, who cares? Who cares? Nobody would have known that. Nobody would have known that happened at your house if you weren't the one who told us. So thanks.
Right.
You also just told us that you are, in fact, like a pro-police person. So you are a bootlicker.
Kind of fessed up.
Every single person on city council needs to explain to us how they feel about Cop City and what they would do about it. Every single one. And if any single one of them is like totally gung-ho, Eli, disqualified.
Yeah.
Maybe you were qualified way back in the day when there was a bad apple or two. I've never believed that. But that's not what we're dealing with. And so not even a little bit am I looking to give the police more authority, more power, more weaponry, more money, and taking away money from the things that we actually need, and then just doing this over and over and over and over. Like, I'm not about it.
Their infiltration into city politics is like Mothers for Liberty. It seems like.
Okay, first of all, it's Moms for Liberty. Okay, get it right.
Moms for Liberty.
Get it right.
Yeah, Daughters of the Confederacy. Whatever.
All the same.
Yeah, like you're a cop and you're running for city council.
Shouldn't be there.
So what do you, fam?
Shouldn't be there.
Fall back.
The only cops that get to run for city council, in my opinion, are former police that are now abolitionists.
Yeah.
Time for a break.
I'm with that. Yeah. Let's definitely hear from those folk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, if you're for abolition, you're definitely a former cop. They serpa code you out. So. Yep. Yeah. But, I mean, like you said, it does really speak to how brazen and how upfront people are being with their opinions.
Yeah.
I think, you get to run that all the way up to the top, Mr. MAGA. Before we got started, Kyle and I were talking about how Trump was saying that, I could shoot somebody. And was it
Fifth Avenue in the middle of New York, and I wouldn't lose one vote. And he wouldn't.
Man, he said that so early. And I was like, he's wilding.
Yeah.
Soothsayer. Take a look at that. And yeah, he's got the rest of them just following suit. It's amazing. All right. And like that, we're at break time.
Wild.
Wow. That was so quick.
That was fast.
That was so quick. All right. Let's hop into this 10-minute intermission. And we will catch you guys on the other side. And then I was like, are you going to pull up to the curb or not? Anyway, we're back. Welcome back from the intermission. You know, quick banter. Then we'll jump right back into the stories. This is News of My Fiance.
With Morgan Jones and DJ Ambush.
See what you just did?
I do, because that's what it says online. Because you didn't. Ambush didn't fix the names. Ambush didn't fix the names.
I definitely did.
Oh, okay.
And this is going to look great. This is going to look great in the playback.
Did you fix it just now? Because when I looked at it earlier, it was backwards.
That's what it's been the entire show.
That's not true.
It's all right, though.
Oh.
I mean, because I'm saying it's all right because it's documented. It's recorded. I actually deleted the other one. This
is very much like my dad would say when my mom would be like, "You're right." He'd be like, "Write it down, put it in the book." Like, that's you? That's you, Nick Jones?
You created a ditty. You freestyled a jingle. I mean, it does warrant a response.
Channeling the energy of one Lily. Just jingle making all over the place.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
That's what I'm in for. I don't even know what that means.
But we back.
But we're here.
Yeah.
And we have some topics. Mm-hmm. Do you want to get right into, the most patriotic president ever, or would you like to hit a local first?
Let's hit a local.
Yeah?
Let's hit a local. No. Let's do it. Let's do it. There's in the history of presidents, there's never been anyone more patriotic.
There hasn't.
He would say. So let's just.
I mean, but that's just true. Bigly true.
Boy.
So Donald Trump's recent visit to Arlington National Cemetery on, last week, August 26th, something like that, has become controversial because of alleged misconduct by his campaign team.
Right.
So during the visit, which was the third anniversary of a suicide bombing in Kabul that killed 13 U.S. service members. Yes, 13 U.S. service members. Trump staff reportedly pushed aside a cemetery employee who tried to stop them from filming in a restricted area. Despite the employee reporting the incident, no charges were filed and the matter was closed by the Army.
This employee is military personnel, guys.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Trump's campaign later posted a video from the visit, which is not a thing you're supposed to do.
Wow.
But it included a voiceover criticizing the Biden administration's handling of the Afghanistan withdrawal, which I find absolutely top tier. Just
it's precious. So precious.
Top tier geopolitical talk there. The videos and photos of Trump giving a thumbs up next to the graves, very reminiscent of the upside down Bible at the church where he had to stormtroop his way into that, John. It is looking like, he's being criticized for being disrespectful and the politicization of such a solemn event.
What should have been. Yeah.
But it's my understanding that you cannot film. You cannot do the thing that the campaign did at that place.
And they were made aware of that prior to them arriving.
So very much just like how Trump runs every other part of his life.
Yeah.
It is, I'm about to do whatever the fuck I want.
Pretty much. Yeah.
You're telling me no, or I already know it's no, or whatever.
It doesn't apply to me.
Does not apply. Do you know who I am?
And this is fresh off of the heels of him doing something else on the campaign he wasn't supposed to do.
Was that a fake assassination or?
Definitely that.
But
I forgot which town they were in, which city they were in. And he called it a press conference. He didn't call it a campaign stop.
Oh, yeah, no.
They reframed what the visit was.
Everything's a rally now, too, or a talk or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Him and also J.D. Vance, and they did this with some sheriffs in those towns.
Cool.
And you're using the resources of those taxpayers to do that, which you cannot do.
Oh, you definitely can.
Absolutely should not be doing.
For sure.
I mean, this is someone who's notorious for owing in many places.
Oh, my man can't go to certain places right now because he still owes states and cities money from the last presidential run. And you know what I was reminded today? I'm sorry for interrupting, but I was reminded we've been dealing with this motherfucker for 12 years in this way.
Yeah.
In just... I'm going to do the politics. And actually, that's not even true. It's longer than that because he was talking about, I might run for president a long time ago.
Yeah.
But we've been dealing with this version for 12 years. Like, did you realize that?
Nah, I definitely did not. I definitely didn't.
Time makes no sense anymore at all. But, yeah, so this guy, that guy, in his last presidential run, left so many debts with different states that it's astronomical the amount of money his campaign owes.
Right.
And so there are a lot of places he can't actually hit because they're like, nah, you're not coming back. He owes DC $8 million.
Right.
$8 million.
This is who y'all want to be president.
You should not be able to walk around.
Yeah. Yeah. So the service member that is in charge of, doing the scheduling and handling all the logistics of those visits, like you said, they did file charges. They filed a report, but there were no charges.
They said Trump's campaign pushed me down, got me out of the way, pushed me around, not down. That's not a quote.
Right.
But was like, what I won't do is try and get y'all arrested. I'm not trying to have an army hearing.
Right.
Because y'all already trying to kill me.
Right. So to which I had my immediate response was like, why wouldn't you file charges? And the news source that was covering it, basically they were like, well, because she's already been facing, death threats from MAGA supporters. And then information from the camp, I think someone from his communications department was basically like, yeah, so obviously this person was having a mental break of some sort. Kyle reminded me, they were hysterical. They used the H word.
Well, there was a vagina involved. Of course she had to be hysterical.
It might have been her time of the month. Who's to say?
She was bleeding from her eyes, out of her whatever.
Right.
What did he say? Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah. Like, come on, man.
It's amazing to me how much that it's just like this particular brand of people are not only the major accosters of women, they are also the only people to protect them.
You know what's
the only ones who care about the real women walking around.
You know what's so wild that you said that specifically? We just got a comment from Alex. Shout out to the homie. He said, well, to him and Epstein, no also means yes.
Okay, points on the board, Alex. Points on the board.
Alex.
No does mean yes for rich, powerful white men. But you know what? I'm not going to limit that to white men. What up, Diddy?
Did he? You know he did.
You know he did. It is wild. It's just the same exact thing as these are the people that are the patriots and the ones that really care, and then also desecrate everything that is supposed to matter.
Yeah.
To the same people. Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand how the things happen and then the supporters are like, yeah, I mean, that one wasn't that. That's not even what happened.
You guys are snowflakes. You're blowing things out of proportion.
Right. Because, having been a fanatic of someone and then had to be like, oh, okay, reality does exist.
Right.
This actually is getting bad.
Right.
Hi, Kanye. I understand having to, you think that you're making sense of things. You're like, no, but really, and then, no, none of this makes sense, actually. There is no, talking about Kanye in the way of, but he could listen to the music he made. That anti-Semitism doesn't mean much.
Right.
Nah. At some point you have to be for real and be like, okay, wait, maybe this person is not aligning with the things that matter. And maybe that person is so famous and powerful that they are able to actually do something about the things they're saying. And there's one of the big differences that I think gets overlooked a lot is that the Trump campaign will want us to treat the things that are actually bad and problematic and offensive and all of those things like jokes.
Right.
And then we're supposed to know the difference of when that man who makes no difference in when he's telling the truth and when he's lying, we're supposed to know when it's a joke and when it's not, or when he's unserious and when he's serious.
Yeah.
And
obviously he's joking, guys.
I mean, and it makes sense because it's the same person who gets to be the victor and the victim in every single instance. But it's the kind of thing that just I don't know how you are still on that train.
Right.
I don't know how you can watch it and be like, yes, everything here is certainly making sense.
You know who we need to get on the show?
Who's that?
A Black Trump voter. I just
no interest.
I just need to know. This is
when did the brainwashing happen? What do you need to know?
Not necessarily. Well, we know when the brainwashing.
Because they're going to say, that's not what has happened, you sheeple. I am the one who is not brainwashed. I'm an independent thinker. Do you want to have that conversation? We could do it right now. I'll have the conversation with you right now.
No.
As a Trump voter.
I don't want you to do that.
Okay.
I've seen enough exorcism films within the last week. So I don't want to.
I just mean, we know what they're going to say.
But I mean, and this is true. We know what they're going to say. But when it comes to situations like this, right, these specific instances, this man did something illegal and brought dishonor to fallen soldiers. I would love, I don't necessarily need it. I would love to hear a Black Trump supporter. Tell me why that's okay. Do you have... Just why is that particular thing?
Why do you want to hear a Black Trump supporter say that? Are they more likely to care about the military?
No, I just Black Trump supporters are some of the most magnificently ridiculous things that exist, and I do like engaging with that specifically because just your existence as a Black Trump supporter.
Is it limited to Trump supporter or Black conservative?
I think you can be a Black conservative and still be Trump's not my guy, but but then then
vote for him.
But then you have people that are wearing shirts that say niggas for Trump.
No, they definitely are wearing those shirts.
So I need...
my favorite is when the white ladies are wearing the blacks for Trump. That is just my fucking favorite.
Is their last name Black? Are they the Blacks?
To watching them to a 80-year-old woman wearing the beach T-shirt, but it's the airbrushed lady
boobs
in a bikini.
Yeah,
it's that.
Yeah.
Are you blacks for Trump? Are you in a bikini right now, Margaret? I think you're not.
Yeah.
I don't know why they do that. Anyway, so you are saying there is a difference between a Black Trump voter and a Black conservative.
Yeah.
But does the Black conservative still vote for Trump? Even if they're like,
not always, right?
I don't know. I'm asking.
We have black conservatives that are hiding within the Democratic Party. We got those black conservatives that have convinced themselves that they're not conservatives.
Why don't you just say Hakeem Jeffries?
Oh.
You could just say these people's names.
Young Hakeem Jeffries.
You know?
Yeah.
Future Speaker of the House, Hakeem Jeffries.
Yeah. So I think, the Trump supporters are,
hiding
they're a curious folk.
They are, but I think black conservatives are a curious folk no matter what. I don't think you have to be like a full MAGA. I think any black person believing what conservatives believe about black people is like, I don't know what black people you know. I don't know. You don't know you don't know you don't know, like
coming from my immigrant background.
Oh, okay, that's a different.
I can understand.
A different situation.
We fall prey to propaganda, white supremacy and propaganda. There are tons of black conservatives, that feel this like, hey man, these African Americans got to get it together.
Somebody's got to pull their pants up.
Exactly, like.
Somebody.
I love that you keep referencing, Bill.
Yeah, I'm not going to stop.
But like, literally the definition of what we're talking about.
I mean, it is assimilation politics. It is, let me explain to you real quick that is on every side of the aisle. That is white supremacy just working through us, anti-blackness working through us. So yeah, there's that version of black people on every political spectrum.
Yeah.
Or I won't say every,
but I feel what you're saying.
Yeah. Like, because that's inherent, because it's the air we breathe. It's how we are told and taught. So it makes sense that there are people doing that, especially in an elected position where there's this idea that you're supposed to be a certain way about all the things. And on top of the having to be a way, you also have to be tolerable to a different set of people. This is outside of just your state or your city, right?
Right.
And so now larger stage, blah, blah, blah. What we definitely know is there are amazing people that can be elected and who could get work done if the people like Hakeem Jeffries and that sect of Democrat who is actually a diet Republican, like, we know that a Cori Bush could get things done.
Oh, yeah.
If not impeded and then not trampled on in order to not be reelected. And something should be said about the fact that you get ousted by your own party.
By your own party.
Because you are just doing or wanting to do too much for the people and not enough for the profit. Like, everybody here should be and here, I mean, like, hearing this should be out of this world upset that Cori Bush and Jamal Bowman were pushed out of their seats. Because in any other moment, it's vote blue, no matter who, it's down the ticket, it's it's not, you're not primarying your incumbent. Right. But I guess we are also primarying the incumbent for the presidency. So, there we are.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
I just want Trump to not be something that we have to talk about anymore, except for like in the past, like the policies that he did, terrible. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to talk about him in present tense. It's, how are we still talking about him? I thought everybody was the Law and Order and lock him up. This is a,
No.
Convicted.
I am in favor of talking about him in present tense.
Oh.
If it's the timeline that I want to see. Like, man, I should be hearing about his meals.
Oh.
And,
his TikTok from prison.
Right.
Got it.
Him not loving his sleeping arrangements. The reality
no golden
TV
toilets,
show. That, that's what I want. Give me that.
I'd be down
Trump
for that.
Inside.
Yeah.
Give me that.
But I want it to be like 60 days in.
Yo, when you said that,
120 days in.
When you said that on the last show, and I did the clip of it, I was dying. You were like, Santos is going to be like, it's sure cold in here.
I legit was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Waiting for them to be like, okay, let's pull him out.
Let's pull him out. Let's you guys, you want to go talk to him?
It's just the way he escapes.
I just want the updates for Trump. I want the
way he continuously gets to escape the reality that everyone else would have to deal with, the consequences of their actions. It's not just laughable. I think to anyone that wants to be taken seriously, that's in the position of power, it should be embarrassing. It should be embarrassing. There's no way after the insurrection, 4 years has passed and Joe Biden hasn't found a way to get him up out of here.
They didn't try.
That's what I'm saying. No, that's the point. Like, it's embarrassing. And you can't be taken seriously. You just can't. You absolutely can't. Like,
the wildest thing for me is that we do have to take them seriously because they are in positions of power.
I was going to say, I don't got to do nothing.
I mean, you're right. You don't.
I don't got to do nothing. Stay black and die. I'm going to take nobody serious.
I watched an episode of Law & Order SVU today. Shout out to Propaganda. And a black lady said that to Amaro. And I was like, you know what?
We do say it.
We do say that. My dad loves it. I ain't got to do nothing but stay black and die and pay taxes.
Guys, we pour hours into that show. It's just background noise for us.
It literally is.
We got to find something else. I mean, it's not working. It's not like the propaganda's working on us, but like, it
honestly makes it worse. Like, it's radicalizing me the other way. Not that I was ever pro-cop, but like, it's just making me more of an abolitionist every time I watch it. Like, really? That's what you said, Finn? Wow. You are a part of the sexual,
SVU. Like,
these are always, and you're like, what was she wearing? I don't know. Bitches be tripping. What are you doing? Is this not on NBC? Anyway.
Speaking of bitches be tripping, no, we don't have any. That's not a segue. You think?
Oh, no, that's perfect.
I'm looking at the wrong story.
You are the segue king. Don't mess it up. Let's talk about the blame game.
Yeah. Okay. I was looking at the what was it, the household story?
Oh, we'll get there.
That's why I was like, that's not a good segue. Yeah. But no, for this one. All right, speaking of bitches be tripping.
With their powers combined, current mayor, let me start over. With their powers combined, Portland Mayor, T-Dub, Ted Wheeler, and mayoral hopeful, RG, the real gangsta. Everybody knows him as that. They make a nearly unbeatable duo at one of America's favorite games and pastimes. Do you know what that game is?
Blame that black woman.
Yes! Woo! Yeah!
On Friday.
Blame that black woman.
On Friday, a federal judge decided to delay the formation of the Police Accountability Board Committee until January in order to allow the new city council to be the ones to appoint the committee. Tevis was big pissed and released a statement saying...
Oh, do you want that statement?
Oh.
I'll just say my favorite part of the statement. Okay. Which is... the city has worked hard to move this forward. Oh, wait. I want to make sure. Yep. The city has worked hard to move this forward, and we are grateful for the sustained and difficult work many stakeholders have all put into this effort, all of whom wanted to move forward now. An unelected judge ignored that consensus and instead folded under the pressure of a narrow perspective, first raised over 4 hours into the hearing by one Jo Ann Hardesty.
Wowzers.
Jump scare. Who voters declined to re-elect in 2022.
Wow. And then Rene responded in a tweet.
Oh, Rene.
For Portland to meet the challenges of recent years, you must have a Healthy Police Bureau. Platforming a police abolitionist 2 years after voters soundly rejected her ideology is undemocratic and imperils public safety progress in Portland. This is a textbook judicial overreach. Let me tell you one thing.
What is that one thing?
If Rene doesn't like it, I fucking love it.
This was such a wild thing for me because how are we 2 years away from Jo Ann Hardesty even running?
Right. And
she is somehow still to blame for every failure of this city, even those that one Rene and one Tevis worked their level best to not even implement. Like, what is it about her that you're still running against?
I'm going to tell you right now, if I'm down with Jo and I'm like part of like her communications team or whatever, this is a victory lap. Look how many years later, they still can't stop me.
Oh, I mean, honestly.
Like, I am impeding so much
from
my porch.
I would legit I'd be doing victory laps. I'd be doing all the things that are like, because the thing is, does he know who he's running against? Like, if I'm anyone that is also running for mayor, I'm making this a point. I'm saying, does he know that he's running against us and not someone who is not running?
Right.
Is there a reason he continues to bring up Jo Ann Hardesty when she ain't got nothing to do with nothing?
Carmen, hop on that.
I mean, like, you are literally running for the same spot and you are seeing him drag this black woman for literally zero reason. Because if it's not that, he just doesn't know that she's not running.
Right.
I mean, I would hate to believe that he just has such a grasp on Portland's anti-blackness and their ability to just look past with the rest of it and just be like, blame that black lady. I would hate for that to be what it is. Is it really that he just has a better grasp on that than most of everybody else? Because he might.
He might.
But this is a person who not only platforms and agrees with people like Andy No and neo-Nazis and Proud Boys and Boogaloo Boys and conspiracy theorists, anti-vaxxers, like so on and so on and so on. This is the person who was ready to kill your kids so that y'all could get back to work because serve capitalism, not your children. That is the same person who is just blaming black women for everything. Like, he makes things up.
Right.
This is a pro-police, but we gonna waste the police time at all times person? Someone has to make this make sense to me.
Right.
Because you get to be the voice of reason, but also you are literally the voice of Christmas past. Why are you still talking about this shit?
Michelle said, healthy? In response to, we must have a healthy police bureau.
Like, I'm going to say something violent. It makes me so mad. How does he get to say that and someone's not throwing tomatoes?
Okay. The precedence has been set. And again,
you could just look at him and he'd be like, ah!
Yeah.
I mean, literally, black women are jump scares for him. And I just absolutely am not going to leave that. I'm going to keep saying it because somehow we are the boogeymen. And we're just going to make that man's dreams turn to nightmares at all times.
Also,
even the ones that aren't there, aren't talking to him, ain't touching him. We're going to find a way for that black lady to have really fucked with me.
Also, it's sweet. It's sweet with local media. It's sweet.
Boy.
You literally can say and do anything, and local media will not check you.
Fam, they just won't. Be like, thank you.
Yeah, literally. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
Because they don't want to be kicked out of meetings and lose access to these people.
Well, I don't even think it's that.
Who shouldn't be in positions of power, period.
Yeah, we're serving the same agenda. I don't even think it's that. Because they need each other in this cycle. If there's no, nothing to report on, and there's no one to report to, they need each other.
What? I've said this before. We need to be able to, but we need to start, fielding questions to some of these candidates so they can go unanswered, so we can say we asked them these questions and they've gone unanswered. We've asked their team, we've sent their team questions and they've gone unanswered.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's a very, and I've said it a billion times on the Thursday show, it's just a singular question for me. Sir, did you apologize to that black woman that you accuse of assaulting you? At all?
No.
Like, we've all seen the video
Mans
now.
didn't even go back to the police and be like, my bad.
My bad, y'all. None of that. He
got on a fucking camera and said, I'm not riding TriMet. He went to TriMet and was like, y'all ain't safe enough.
And then TriMet was like, chill.
TriMet was like, bro.
We got the video. What you're not going to do.
Is this what you mean by unsafe?
What you're not going to do is try to play us out.
We have had whole stabbings. We have had whole people die on this here train.
Right.
You are not going to talk about someone literally
Turn
brushing.
Your base towards you. The base. Turn that towards you. Yeah. Boom. Good to go.
Guys, everything just changed. I'm never going to have to touch that.
My whole life has changed.
My whole life has changed.
Yeah, like.
Nah, like.
Come on,
like,
dog.
So
for me, there's nothing else to talk about. There's nothing else to talk about.
Exactly that.
You don't get to run, bro.
You are unqualified for getting a job at Office Depot. No shade to anyone working at Office Depot.
Shout out to Office Depot.
You are more qualified than he is. And he is a person who told you you're not even qualified to vote. Not only are you not qualified to vote, you certainly aren't smart enough to figure out what the things you're voting for are. And he's not qualified to do anything that we in this room have ever done.
Right.
And I'm tired of that being the candidate that gets people behind it when really what needs to happen in Portland is very, very simple. And I don't mean like it's not complex to actually roll it out. I mean, it's simple. We are doing nothing but wasting our resources that could be changing lives, and we are displacing people, kicking the can down the road, and that can is a whole person who will die out there.
Yeah.
Who will literally die out there. None of us want that. So if you are a person who's like, I don't want people to be homeless. I don't want people to be addicted to drugs on the street, the open air drug, whatever. Like, what do you think in real life has caused that? Because if it's just personal determination, why does it look different today than it did 10 years ago for you? Why does it look different today than it did 5 years ago for you? Because it's not the same. And it's not the same from when my parents bought a house for when I am going to never buy a house. You know what I mean? Like, things change. And so if you can understand the concepts of things being different, 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, if you can understand the concept that things change, you got to get real serious about why they do too.
Right.
There are reasons. There are reasons all of this has happened. We have listed them. And this isn't opinion. This isn't like alternative facts. This isn't so that an industry can make a bunch of fucking money off of the people that are suffering. The messages you get that are filled with individuality and personal responsibility and pull yourself up by your bootstraps are all fucking fake. That's just not real. And there are systemic reasons, very, very purposeful reasons that people are suffering. We're choosing it. And when I say we, I mean the people that are elected in positions that are able to do that. We are choosing to harm people. And there are a lot of reasons that choice gets made, but it isn't the person who's being harmed. We are not going to continue to victim blame every single person who is a victim of systems of oppression. And be real, if you don't think you're being oppressed, fucking fantastic. I love that for you.
Congratulations.
So great. A 15-minute conversation, I'll probably be able to tell you that you might be wrong, but that's fine.
Right.
You can live in that. Just know that there are other people that are living in an oppressed situation. And would you want that from them? Or for them? Like, do you want that? And if you don't want that, there are things that we can do to make it different.
Right.
But if your entire point is just to be the one winning capitalism, you're never going to be a part of the fix. You're never going to be you're only a part of the problem.
Also, you won't win.
Also, you'll never win. I don't know if you know this, but Elon Musk has everybody's dollars.
Oh, my God.
Every single one of them. He has every dollar. He put them all in his pocket, and he was like, I'll see y'all later.
Him and that old Bezos, the Bezos. Yeah.
And then there's that guy.
Yeah.
Well, now that I'm all riled up, ready to flip tables, let's go to that next one. Because I have a feeling, like we were talking about, like with the city council folks that are saying the quiet part out loud.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we haven't really stuck the landing yet on what is happening with this recriminalization and changing of Measure 110 and what has really happened throughout, right? So I won't go through the whole thing. I'll just, Measure 110, it was voted for overwhelmingly.
Yeah.
And the entire point was to find different ways outside of punishment for drug use, for drug possession. Just a reminder, like I just saw the headline from either KGW or Coin or something, and it was like, open drug use in front of the library. And I'm like, yeah, because that person lives outside. So they're just in their living room.
Yeah,
like
literally on their front porch.
Right, like that's their stoop at this point. And here you are being mad that they're doing the things where they live. Like, anyway. Right. We as a society here in Portland at some point started to understand that criminalizing certain behaviors does not actually help, and it only exacerbates the problem.
Right. And
when you are adding trauma to trauma, you are not getting closer to a fix for anything. Right. That's called compounding. And we voted for ways to alleviate some of that trauma in the way that we're not going to send you to jail. We're not going to make you pay fines that you can't afford. We are not going to make you, leave the situation that you're in the way of so many people that are houseless are not unemployed. And when we see people lose their jobs because they went to jail because they had a little bit of something on them, like that's a life-ruining moment.
Yeah.
And when you can understand how quickly people became unemployed and homeless because we had the worst response to a pandemic that we could have had. I mean, like, for as many resources and the ability to mobilize, we did the bare minimum with every part of it. The bare minimum. We are all lucky to be alive because we shouldn't be. The way that the way that the government has handled it then and to this second.
Facts. Yeah.
That thing ain't doing nothing but multiplying. We ain't getting nothing but new strains. Anyway, so Measure 110, we decided we're going to try new things. We're going to do something different. Very much the same with Portland street response. We understand that the police are not probably the right people to call for a lot of the situations they get called for. Mm-hmm. We're going to stop doing that. We are going to fund a different program and see what happens there. This is mutually beneficial.
Right.
But somehow, the same police who tell us that they are not actually equipped to deal with mental health crisis and certain things that they shouldn't even be thought of to deal with that, we find a way to take it away from them, and they're like, you don't want me to do my job? I want you to know how to do your job. Anyway.
Technically.
I want you to know how to do the job I want you to do.
Oh, okay. Because I understand, that viewpoint.
Fuck the police. Fuck them again.
If you view your job as cracking skulls and you're now taking away...
You totally win.
The amount of people whose skulls I get to crack.
I should get unemployment. I'm understanding. Okay. Yeah. And this is why they quit.
Defund the police. This, hey man, you wouldn't even let me do my job on these homeless
people. You really want me to flip this table tonight.
You wouldn't even let me do my job on these homeless people.
I'm not going to finish this story because what you just said makes me so upset. All right, let me try. Okay, so what we have decided now with this pivot with 110, because we're going to recriminalize and we're going to actually send people to jail, but sometimes. We're going to do that, but we're also going to create deflection centers.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where I sit. Deflection? When we are having an actual disagreement, doesn't happen often. When that's happening, one of us will say, don't deflect. Don't do that. Don't do that, little darling. That's not even what I'm talking about, right?
It's not conducive to the solution.
Are we not using the word, like, should they just be called performative centers? Because my understanding now is this just a place that's a desk that is going to triage in the way of, you come in, the police drop you off, you sit across from me, I do an intake of some sort, right, and then I'm gonna give you resources. And if you reach out to those resources within 30 days, good move. And if you don't, we have reason to arrest you.
We're coming to get you.
Or at the very least, the next time that you have police contact, if you are able to say that you did not, in fact, take advantage of those resources that don't actually exist, then I can't offer you the deflection center again. Because that's the other thing. We don't have the infrastructure for any of the changes. We didn't have the infrastructure for the things that we need for Measure 110 to work, and the same people who don't want it have been in the way of actually funding it and making it be a viable situation.
Right.
Instead, in the way, totally deflecting the money, making sure that it doesn't get to the things that it needs to.
Right.
And then saying that program doesn't work at all. This measure didn't work. All we did was, make drug addicts, I guess.
Yeah.
We are supposed to be able to do certain things. You are not supposed to be able to displace people and tell them they can't sleep a certain place if you don't have a place to tell them to go.
Right.
If you don't have a shelter to say, hey man, you can't sleep on the sidewalk. You got to sleep somewhere else. We got this shelter open. You can go to that. We don't even have that. So we're already breaking certain laws. Like, that's the thing. You can't just move people around and call it, I don't know, governing.
Yeah.
Like, we're spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars each time they go to a camp, which I still don't even understand how much money, why things are so expensive.
Sweeps.
Yeah.
Talking about, yeah.
Like, how many times do I have to pay for that truck? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not feeling it.
Same truck, right, guys?
Same truck, guys. Anyway, we are spending so much money on that. We are spending even more money on sending people to jail. We are spending more money on deflection programs and where we're going to house that thing instead of housing the people that need places to live. Like, we are just finding ways to spend the money we could be using on the people that need it the most and to literally throw it away. And for me, you can't talk. I cannot hear a person complain about what's happening if you can't speak to me about where the money went, and if you can't speak to me about why those measures didn't work, I'm not doing the rest of it with you.
Who's our new DA?
What?
Our new DA. What's that guy's name?
Nathan Vasquez.
Nathan Vasquez. So this is teeing him up for some great stats. The recriminalization. I want to say that, but I also, there's not a whole lot that they can do. Like, even in their own thing that they wrote, there's not a lot of jail time. There's not a lot of people going to jail because of this. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So
and there is the public defender shortage that you have in the notes.
Exactly.
I guess I was just looking at it as saying, being able to make
certain arrests. Arrests will go up. Look what I did.
Look what we've done.
Totally agree.
You know.
Yeah.
I stepped in. I took charge. The details are unimportant, but
always have been.
Yeah, but looky here, arrests are up.
Again, if the point is just putting people in jail, we're doing fucking great. We're beating the world. Give us the gold. We're doing so good.
Yeah.
But why would that be the point? And especially people who are being locked up for being poor, what happens, do you think, when they come out of jail? Are they walking into a place to live and a job? Like, what do we mean? What are we expecting? So this deflection center is just going to give people literal referrals. I do not need more of a healthcare system that doesn't work in any other version. Like, nobody needs this. And it's this shit that makes people think that government doesn't work and say that government should be smaller and whatever and shouldn't have a say in things. Government should be making sure that we are okay and we are being protected by things. That's not what's happening. No. And government currently serves capital. So we all have to be on board with that understanding that that's what government does. The government that you know, the government that you have always known, serves capital, not people. And until we all understand that and decide that we're not fucking going for it anymore, this is going to be it. And they're just going to keep lying to you and saying, look, I found a fix. And that fix is something they already tried. They're just going to use different words. And we're going to not recriminalize. We're going to make sure that drug use is not legal, which it never fucking was.
It never was.
And like, words mean things. The idea that we just be throwing shit around and like, anybody gets to say whatever they want on the internet, and then somebody else is like, yeah, brother. And then another person is like, yeah, I absolutely fucking believe that because my mom said, like, but nobody on that same fucking internet will even fucking Google the thing that they're like up in arms about.
Yeah.
So here you are, you have people who are like super fucking pumped that we're changing 110 and we're about to recriminalize and all this stuff because now Portland's about to change and everything's about to be different. And when nothing fucking changes, who gets blamed? Jo Ann Hardesty. Of all fucking people. I'm sorry. This is a lot of cussing. But it's the only way I'm not flipping this table right now. And I just want to like from the police, because I think it's important that we hear, you know, the voices of the LEOs out there. They let us know what the criteria for drug possession deflection is. And I really do want us to sit with that word deflection. I really want you to sit with that and think about what the fuck they mean by it. But anyway, the person is in possession of a small amount of drugs. The person doesn't require medical attention. The person is not a danger to themselves or others. And who gets to choose that? The person does not have any outstanding warrants or other charges. The person is not on probation. The person is able to respond to verbal instructions, which I don't know if you guys know this, but that's going to be a lot of different things.
They don't do that well.
I mean, like...
Cops don't give verbal instructions well at all.
Not only do they not give them well, there are a lot of reasons why people would not be able to respond to them well. Being sober, being mentally fit, being completely fit. Like... That's a real ableist situation to just be like, you better be able to respond to me the way I want you to. Again, the amount of times that I have been yelled at by the police, different commands at the same time, and I'm supposed to be able to figure out which one to do. It is literally amazing I've not been just already decimated. So the person is not on probation. The person is able to respond to verbal instructions. The person is 18 years or older. The person voluntarily wants to enter the deflection program. And the deflection team, because this is, be listening. The deflection team arrives to the scene within 30 minutes. Are we all, can we simultaneously flip the fucking table now?
How's that happening?
The police don't necessarily respond within 30 minutes. So the deflection team, which don't fucking exist, is supposed to show up in a car they don't have or whatever the fuck. They're supposed to show up to whatever scene that you're at. I don't know if you guys know this, but we do not have the same zip through Portland, get anywhere in 15 minutes. That shit ain't real no more. It doesn't matter what time it is. So they're supposed to be able to show up in 30 minutes and be the ones that then take over and take this person. I remember distinctly the way that they described this is the police then drop those people off at the deflection center. Mm-hmm. Not someone from a deflection team has to show up. Because who's going to fund that? I got a real big feeling that someone, you know, RG, MM, T-Dub, right, is going to be like, I don't know, there's money that should be going to the police here. I think that the Fire Bureau needs a couple more dollars. Like, we know where they want to spend the money. We know that this particular city council will take money from people that have even yet to get it in order to try and give it to the police.
Absolutely. Proven track record.
So, like, I'm not going to trust you. And you've never given me a reason to even consider trying. Y'all don't even say sorry for the things you fucked up at. Rene Gonzalez has never said, oh, that thing didn't happen. He didn't even say sorry for wasting the police's resources and time.
Right.
He didn't say sorry to taxpayers for doing the dumb shit with our money. He didn't say sorry for lying on 2 different black women, 2 different times. Mm-hmm. And he lying on Jo Ann today, calling her, or whatever day that was, calling her an abolitionist. She has never, ever once said she was a prison abolitionist. And there's a big difference between people saying defund the police and no police.
Right.
Like, and not understanding what a carceral world we live in means you are super lucky to be disconnected from it. And I love that for you. But I've never been lucky enough to not have police contact, and I don't be doing shit. Like, I'm literally not doing anything.
Right.
But the amount of police contact I've had, and not just in Portland, but very specifically in Portland, and very specifically targeted in Portland. I'm not going to ever be able to let that go because not one of those people said, my bad. Not one of those people said, sorry, I just flipped your whole fucking car inside out for no reason just because. Like, you're not going to get me to believe that that was the bad apple when that was my only experience over and over and over again. They can't all be bad apples if that's the analogy. That's just not how it goes. They're not lone wolves when they're in a pack.
Right.
And at some point, we have to be serious about listening to other people's experiences and knowing that there's shit that's happening that doesn't happen to you. And calling the people on the bullshit that they are lying about. We can expect people, politicians especially, to lie, but we cannot be complacent with that. And so you can expect them to be lying. And what that means is you have to double check what the fuck they just said. Is what they just said to you the truth? Have they already done that? Do you see it in their track record? Do you know if that wasn't their track record, what are they telling you right now that's different?
Right.
Which is what Kamala got to start doing. You're going to have to start saying what you're going to do different and not this whole, we going to be a mighty, mighty imperial moment. Like, fam. Fuck. Like, fuck.
I'm sorry, I'm still reacting to you saying, Kamala got to do different.
She does. Like, what are we talking about? Like, you can't go 1 week, 2 weeks, whatever, making really great decisions and then be like, you know what, I will do this interview and fuck the dog. I like, what are you doing? And this is a person I don't even believe in.
That's why, yeah, I don't. I feel you. I feel you on, like, she needs to do different, but because I don't believe in her, it's like, keep doing what you're doing, son.
I mean, they keep doing that and then with literally a worse situation. I don't mean a vote for someone else's vote for Trump. I mean, if people do not believe, like there is such a reason not to vote this time. There's so many reasons not to vote.
Oh, yeah.
And there's such a large contingency of people that do care enough about what we are doing. And maybe they never understood it before. And seeing it now and seeing it for nearly 11 months straight, we are going to be at October 7th real fast.
Man.
We're going to be there real fast. And you know who's not going to be doing a ceasefire? Bibi Netanyahu. And you know who's not going to stop giving arms? Fucking America.
You know what's interesting? With the arms and supplies that we're giving to Ukraine, they have guidelines. So with
shocking.
With the recent bombings and drone strikes that they've been doing on Russia, the reporting that I saw this morning was like, and they're using these specific types of strategies because they're not allowed to use these particular weapons in this way based on the agreement of them receiving those weapons from the U.S. And I'm like, man, so y'all know how to do it. You're currently doing it right now.
To your point.
But for Israel,
To your point, Senator Elizabeth Warren was on one of these Sunday shows, and someone asked if you were able to advise Vice President Harris on what to do, what would you say with regard to putting conditions on arms or no longer arming Israel? And her response was, I would tell her to follow the law. Because the law says we're already fucked up. We already did the big bad. We're still doing it.
Right.
So follow the law. You are, a law and order candidate, right? You are a former prosecutor, former attorney general. You are a person who holds people accountable.
Right.
And uphold the law. What we can't do, no matter who the opponent is in any of these elections, we cannot pretend as if the other rules that we have all agreed on globally don't exist because we don't want them to in that moment. So Trump is going to be that no matter what. He's going to be that with the rules at IHOP, and he's going to be like that with the rules of Russia. It doesn't matter. They're all the same. None of them apply to him. He is a singular person. He is not the United States, right? Anybody else, because anybody else believes themselves to be representing an entire country. You cannot just be like, I'm a person who believes in the laws and upholds them and makes sure, and then be like, but also we don't be breaking no laws around here because we America.
Anyway.
So pay no mind, so look away. Nah, you got to do a whole lot better. And shout out to Elizabeth Warren, for real, for saying, I would tell her to uphold the law.
It's really simple, guys.
It's super simple. It's taken every other, whatever their things are, like the AIPAC money and the so-and-so and the political things. It's taken that out of it. I'm just here following the law. Now, that is tricky because that means that you're saying the president, your vice president too, was not following the law. Right. But the truth of it is he is not following the law. So fuck it. Let's be real. Like if you're going to be the black lady out here, be the black lady out here and tell some fucking truths. And stop playing around with the we gonna coddle feelings and we're gonna make sure that everybody feels good about it later.
Right.
FTS. Let's be done with that part. Let's be done with that assimilation politics. Get to the money. Stop arming Israel now, yesterday, 18 years ago.
Right.
And I could do this all fucking day because what in the world are we getting in return? And not that there would be a thing that we can get in return for genocide. I'm not saying that. But what are we getting in return for being this loyal, right?
And being this disrespected on some real shit.
Dead ass.
Yeah.
The one thing I'll say about Trump is if he understood that he was being disrespected, this would be different.
Oh, definitely.
He
would take it personal.
He would take it personal. Obama wouldn't stand for this shit.
Yeah.
And I don't fuck with Obama, to be clear.
Yeah.
Not one American president is about to get me to be like, woo, yeah.
Yeah.
No, maybe 2. Anyway,
Hmm.
the point is, change it. You are already doing a great job in the way of running on not the negative stuff, right? It's all about like, we can move forward and we're going to find our way out of this dark hole or whatever. You're going to have to show us how. We are 3 elections past rhetoric now.
Right.
Like, at no point can we just continue to hear, clippable lines that the K-Hive is going to like beat me over the head with when I'm like, except for she's still giving them motherfuckers money. Like, we can't live on that.
Right.
We actually have to see the progress. We actually have to feel the progress. We can no longer just be like hoping for and hope for the change. We did that for a whole 8 years. Can't do it again.
Booyah.
Bye.
Son.
No. Oh.
It's checkout time.
Aww.
We're at that point. Little unrefined sophisticates. Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, man.
This was fun.
Yeah. Thank you guys for joining us, for sure. Looking forward to chatting it up again with you guys on Thursday and again, next Monday. Shout out to anyone that has joined us on Patreon, supported us on Patreon.
Yes.
Definitely, if you haven't yet, there's some things in there, some things to check out, some exclusives. Got some more stuff popping in there later on this week.
Yes, there's more coming.
Yeah.
There's going to be videos. There's going to be text messages, screenshots. There's going to be...
slander.
Always slander. Because you're rude.
Ravishingly, so.
What?
Yeah.
Your name is not Rick.
Well, this episode was made possible by our in-studio crew, Kyle G of Residual Audio, and Jess M.
And our remote quality control, Michelle and Ross.
Daggone right. Our studio sponsors, We Out Here Magazine and Spirit of Justice, for hosting us each Monday. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And of course, big thanks to all of you for watching and listening and staying engaged. I want to give an additional shout out to Fiance John's work husband, who I met on Saturday in Dawson Park.
IRL.
Yeah, IRL. Shout out
what
to the homie.
What he forgot to do, and by he I mean Ambush, was ask your name.
Yeah, it's terrible. I'm terrible. I'm sorry.
He's awful.
And you introduced yourself as Fiance John's work husband. I was just like, oh, okay.
You were like, oh, I know exactly what that means.
Terrible.
We have no idea what your name is.
Terrible.
Please tell John to text in and tell us what your name is.
We're going to tell John on the air.
It's true.
Text in.
That's true.
And also give credit to your work husband for any commentary.
Man, that feels like something I would have said, but yes. Please stay engaged with us all week. Follow us on the Instagrams at News with My Fiance. You can follow Ambush. He posts more than I do at ScamBeezy.
I be trying.
And me, I'm at Portland Morgan. I am working on it. I promise. I am trying to respond to all of those DMs. Become a member, sock it to our pockets. We want to be able to do this. We want to be able to pay our people. We want to be able to pay for all the things that we need. So head over to Patreon, patreon.com/newswithmyfiance. Become a member. Every membership counts.
Every membership counts.
Yeah, very much so. And again, huge thank you to everybody watching, everybody liking, commenting in the chat, all the things, subscribing, making the algorithm notice us. We need that. We must have it. And we need a little more.
Yeah,
tell your friends.
For sure. Like Morgan said, every membership counts. Shout out to all our free subscribers. Shout out to our paid subscribers. Ross, good looking out, fam.
Yes.
And you know the deal. Don't let the individuals distract you from the systems. Poverty is a policy choice. People over profits. Power to the people.
None of us are free until we're all free.
Boom.
Stay tuned for Tom Hartman.
Nice.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. And you can catch this show streaming live on YouTube every Monday night from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And our podcast episodes are available everywhere you listen to podcasts except Spotify.